Good morning, welcome back to the channel. We are in week 2 of the prep. Week 1 went really well. Kind of want to recap that real quick. So throughout the whole week, on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we hit 2 easy miles. Really tried to keep the heart rate between 140 and 151. As the week went on, we did a really good job, but as the week went on, I definitely saw some pace numbers pick up. So that was refreshing to see, knowing that I was able to implement some gains there in week 1. Friday, we pushed it a little bit harder. We didn't stay in the heart rate zone that we wanted as consistently, but we did run 2 miles, and when we finished, 1, the pace was quicker, but number 2, I still felt pretty good. I didn't feel like I was crushed, so I was really happy to see some of the gains that I saw there. And with that, we were able to keep it. We were actually able to do better than we thought we would do, and we had 1 lap that was around 8:30, and then the next 2 were actually sub 8 minute per mile pace. So I was really happy with how week 1 went. Now we're in week 2. With that being said, we have upped the easy run mileage by half a mile. So we will be running 2.5 easy miles on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday will also be 3 800-meter repeats again, because even though we felt great and even though we had really good numbers, we don't want to push too hard and cause exhaustion or injury. So want to avoid that at all costs. That way we can continue to train. That's what we've got for this week. Understand all these runs are still going to be easy runs, and then of course Wednesday we will push ourselves to run at that pace that we want to try to run during this half marathon in November. Now, if you're wondering what this thing is, this little doohickey, that is a Garmin heart rate monitor. We invested in one of these because it's known that on these watches, the heart rate monitor isn't always super accurate. So we wanted to get a better piece of equipment to try to really make sure we have as accurate as possible heart rate. That way when we're training, we know we're in the right zones and that we're building that aerobic endurance and that aerobic foundation and getting stronger and becoming a better runner. For today's run, we've mapped out a slightly different route, so I'm excited to see where that takes us. But we're in week 2, we're ready to get going, and we're gonna crush it.
I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the back like here I go again. Outside says the chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8-day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, 100s, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions. I'm talking Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy Amazon. I been winning, I'm like, why me? I heard these labels wanna buy me. I don't need you, boo, I style me. I roll G's and they grind me. Now I'm on my game, nothing is the same. Who am I to blame? Money made me change.
Okay, we made it back in the neighborhood from the 2.5 mile run. That run ended a while back, but I wanted to make sure I was in the neighborhood before I started recording in, because we want to be responsible about what we're doing. That way we don't put ourselves in danger while we're out there on the road with the cars. So just trying to be safe, waiting until we get back and practicing good habits. And number 2, this thing right here, this heart rate monitor, was really a game changer. I was able to be more consistent with my heart rate zones. It's definitely clear that the watches itself aren't super accurate. Whenever I was tracking it last week with the watch, there was a constant back and forth. I felt like I was constantly having to fluctuate my speed to stay within the range, to where today with this heart rate monitor, yeah, I still had to fluctuate every now and then, but most of my run, I felt like I did a really good job of staying within the range that I was trying to stay in. Once we get back, we'll look at the splits and look at the pace that I had. I know for a fact my paces were much better, but there was a slight issue. I'm an idiot and clicked on the wrong workout. So I took the time yesterday to put the new workout for week 2 into my Garmin app, and then turned and clicked on last week. So it only tracked the 2 miles, but I overcame it. I ran the 2 miles and then just ran the half mile cool down instead of walking it. So therefore I'm at my 2.5 miles and still hit my daily goal for week 2. So when we get back, we'll look at the minute per mile pace for mile 1, then look at it for mile 2. Obviously mile 2 will be slightly off, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not gonna be off by that much. But I know for a fact that my paces were much better. So I'm really excited to see exactly what they are. And so really happy and pleased with this Garmin heart rate monitor. It's something we're gonna wear forever whenever we run. So really excited about that. Really happy with where I'm at. You know, still probably in this honeymoon phase of the prep to where I'm experiencing these gains and everything's fun. You know, I'm sure at some point we'll hit a plateau, but we're gonna ride the highs until we get there. And once we get to that point, if we reach one of those points, we'll push through and break through the other side. But really happy with where I'm at right now after 1 week and 1 day of this half marathon prep. Okay, so just wanted to talk about the running splits, my stats from earlier before we head to the gym. I mentioned that my minute per mile pace was better today than it was last week. So now I'm gonna look at it just to kind of reaffirm that. So the first minute per mile pace was actually 10 minutes and 59 seconds. That's the fastest I've ever done since I started tracking them. So the first mile was 100% better. The second mile was around, I say around because remember, I clicked on the wrong workout in my watch, so it kind of split the laps. When I ran my second mile and then the half mile, it split it in two. So I'm having to look at the average minute per mile for the last mile and the half mile, and it had the last mile at 12:17, and then it had the last half mile at 12:07. So like I said, in the grand scheme of things, not that different. The average would have been, you know, somewhere between 12:07 and 12:17. But my point is, my running time overall was better, and even my average, if you just take everything that I did, my average minute per mile pace was 11:33, which has also been the best that I've had. It's actually the first sub 12 I've had for the entire thing. So really happy with that. Obviously next time I got to make sure I click on the right thing. That way it tracks a little bit more. That way it tracks the second mile and the last half mile a little bit better. But overall, the first mile was the first time that I've broken 11 minutes. The second mile and the half mile, we were somewhere between 12:07 and 12:17, but still really good job. I would like to get my second mile below 12. I think that's a goal that I'm gonna have kind of moving forward this week. You know, with a little bit more focus and a little bit more attention to detail on my breathing and the pace. I think I can definitely get that down, because one thing I've noticed is that from last week and even running today, that my first mile is usually pretty good, but then the second one tends to slow up a little bit. You know, that's fine. It's to be expected because body's starting to wear down as we're building up through these runs. But I would like to be able to keep that second mile and a half, the minute per mile pace, a little bit quicker. So I think that's kind of a goal moving forward, and it's definitely attainable, and definitely something that we can achieve. But overall, really happy with the numbers that I put out during my 2.5 mile run this morning. Okay, we've arrived at the gym. It's Monday, and we've got a chest and tricep day. The workout's gonna be pretty much the same as it was last week. You know, I'm trying not to get too fancy with these lifts. I'm trying to stick to some pretty basic movements, but really trying to make sure that I master those movements. That way I'm getting the full effect of the lifts. We got bench press. Obviously we're staying with our high volume workout. The bench press, we're gonna make sure that we get the full stretch. I might go up in a little bit of weight. I'm sure I'll have to fluctuate between what I've been doing and what I think that I may go up to today. But remember, our goal with these high volume workouts is to make sure we get all the sets, and that we make sure that we get those high reps and stay within that high rep range that I've set out for. We'll have the upper cable fly. Last week, I did some incline dumbbell flies. Well, I felt something in my delt whenever I try to get that big stretch, so I've kind of decided to stay away from those. For some reason, when I go for the big stretch, my mid delt jumps in, and for some reason it just kind of flares it up a little bit. So we're going to stay away from that. That way we don't re-aggravate it or injure it. So we'll do some upper cable flies because it doesn't seem to bother me whenever I do that. And then of course we'll have our 3 tricep workouts. We'll have the rope pull down, we'll have the seated dip with weight, and then we will have the cable kickback, and we'll finish it up with some ab work to bring the workout home. Understand these workouts are pretty basic, pretty simple. You know, I'm not trying to do all kinds of different movements and stuff like that. I'm just trying to be as simple as I can, focusing on the movement and the mind and muscle connection, and really just trying to build up muscle and create some hypertrophy through the high volume and high rep workouts. And after we get on the lift, I'm gonna come back and talk about, you know, 3 things that I think are key in being successful in your health and fitness journey. It's not necessarily my top 3. I'm not really putting these in any typical order. These are just 3 simple things that I think you can add or you can take into account, and will help the decisions you make in your health and fitness journey more effective and help you achieve all the goals that you've set out to reach in your health and fitness journey. All right, just finished up the lift for today. Got a really good chest workout, got a really good tricep workout. Both the chest and the triceps felt really pumped and really juiced. I'm really happy with how that workout went. I did bump up from 155 to 165 on my first 2 sets of bench. I was able to get up to 12 and 10 reps, so didn't quite reach 15 with the new weight, but I still kept it 10 and above, and then we just dropped back down to 155, which is what we've been doing, and we're able to still stay above 10. So really happy with how that went. Sometimes you just got to start adding a little bit of weight incrementally to help continue to build muscle and to kind of push over those little plateaus you may experience whenever you're doing certain weights. Really happy with how that went, and that we got in a really good workout to start off this Monday of week 2 of the half marathon prep. All right, now I want to talk about 3 simple ways that you can be successful or set yourself up to be successful on your health and fitness journey. These 3 things aren't in any specific order due to importance, non-importance. These are just 3 simple things that I just want to talk about and get you thinking about with your health and fitness journey, especially if you're just getting started or getting into the gym. All right, number 1, again, not in any particular order, but the first thing I'm going to talk about is creating a gym routine and giving yourself cues to get to the gym. So in terms of a gym routine, sit down, come up or construct a schedule of when you're going to go to the gym and what you're going to do at the gym. Doesn't matter what style workout you're doing. It doesn't matter what split, whether it be push-pull legs, whether it's just upper body, whether it's all legs, whether it's full body, or what style, whether it's just resistance training, HIIT workouts, you know, whatever it may, walking on the treadmill, row machines, bike, whatever it may be. Set up a routine and get used to it. That way your body gets used to it and it's learning how to adapt and getting into those routines of trying to accomplish whatever it is that you've set out to accomplish. Routines and knowing what you're going to do going into the gym is really, really beneficial, because 1, as you start to get into the groove of things, you're going to really look forward to whatever day you have planned, or even whenever you finish a day, you're going to really be looking forward to the very next day. I know for me, after I knock out a chest and tricep day on a Monday, I get super excited about doing back and biceps on Tuesday, and then I know after that I can crush my shoulders and my legs on Wednesdays, right? Like I have a detailed plan, I have my reps and my sets, and I'm going to go into the gym and I'm going to hit those reps and sets. So a gym routine can be very, very beneficial for getting into a groove and allowing yourself to be successful in achieving your gym goals. Another thing to kind of go with that is, you know, creating cues to get you to the gym, especially if you're someone that struggles with motivation, or if you're just getting into it, or if you're not sure how often you want to go. Like, set some cues. All right, we can pick the most simple one of all that you hear all the time in books, articles, is, you know, lay out your clothes and your shoes the night before, that way you see them whenever you get up. That is a fantastic cue, right? You get up, you see it, know you got to go to the gym. Another one could be something that I personally do is, I know that whenever I have my pre-workout that I'm going to go to the gym. Now obviously no one just drinks pre-workout as just a lounge drink, especially if you got the one that has a stimulus in it like I do, and it gets you all itchy and super amped to work out. But I know no matter how I feel, that if I just get a scoop of my pre-workout, put it in the cup, put water in it, and then just drink it, I know for a fact my butt's going to go to the gym. Like, that is my thing that kicks me into gear. I know if I've got that pre-workout and if I drink it, nothing's going to stop me from going to the gym. Now I understand not everybody uses pre-workout. It's perfectly fine. Again, find something. Maybe it's filling up the water bottle before you leave the house, or filling up your water bottle before you leave work to start hydrating yourself on the way to the gym. Maybe it's, you know, wearing your gym shoes all day long. That way you just are in that mindset of already getting there, and you know the gym's on your brain all day. Whatever it may be, it just really helps to find positive cues that reinforce the habit of going to the gym, that can really help you be successful in your gym training and just in your health and fitness journey in general. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about is going to be your nutrition. It's going to be nutrition based, right? Whether you're wanting to gain muscle, whether you're wanting to lose fat, even to maintain, whatever you're wanting to do, it's really important that you take your nutrition seriously. Now, how can we do that? One good way would be to just prep your meals. You know, find a day on that week that you're just gonna say, hey, I'm gonna lay everything out, I'm gonna calculate everything, and this is what I'm gonna eat for the week. And I know for a fact that I'm gonna have all of these healthy meals throughout the week. Maybe another way is only buy foods that are healthy, right? You can't eat bad foods if they're not in your house. I know that's pretty cliche, but it's very true. Works with me, especially if I'm getting ready to do a cut phase. I just get all the junk out of my house, because if it's there, I'm more tempted to eat it or drink it. But if it's not there, I don't even think twice about it, and I know I could stay on a roll. So those are just a couple things that you can do. Another thing is start tracking your food, right? Track your calorie intake, no matter what your diet plan is. Track your calories, track your macros, your carbs, your fats, and your protein. All right, and you'd be surprised, one, how much you're eating if you eat a lot. What you also realize is when you try to eat healthy, it's actually really hard to like consume tons of calories, right? Because a lot of healthy things are lower in calories and are really good for you. And you can kind of spread the meals out, and then you can start sprinkling in some healthy snacks there in between. But tracking everything can give you a really good perspective on what your nutrition looks like, or what it's going to look like moving forward. I know I have grown to love tracking my food and my calories and my macros. It just helps me a ton. It helps me understand what I'm eating. It allows me to see my protein goals. It helps me see my carb intake, especially as I'm fueling for a lot of these workouts. And it's just a really good viewpoint of what you're consuming and how it's tailored to whatever diet you have. So I highly recommend tracking your food as well. Third thing I want to talk about is determining why you're going to the gym in the first place, or just setting goals, right? If you determine why you're going to the gym, is it to just move some weight around, or are you going because you want to lose 10 pounds because you want to wear a certain set of clothes, or you want to catch the attention of someone that you're interested in, right? Like there's got to be something bigger than just saying, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, right? We need to attach some sort of connection to it. I understand I'm getting in sort of the Simon Sinek, Find Your Why, and Charles Duhigg, understanding that if there's an attachment to our goals, we're more likely to accomplish them. I understand I'm in that territory, but it's very, very true. If you understand why you're going, or why you're, doing whatever said diet, it allows you to be more committed, right? And understand the why isn't just eating X amount of calories or moving weight or going for a run. The why is that future goal, or that end goal of like, hey, I'm doing this, that way in this amount of time I get to experience this, and this is what I'm really dedicated to. And it will really help you push towards those goals and have a really good mindset with your workouts and with your diet. Set goals like I just talked about. What is the end goal? You can set minor goals. That's perfectly fine. You go, hey, in a month I want to lose 5 pounds. In 2 months, I want to be able to say I've added 10 pounds to my bench press, or whatever resistance training movement you're doing, right? Like setting those goals. So you can set small goals and then allow them to lead up to the bigger goals of, in 6 months, I want to lose 15 pounds. And in 6 months, I want to set a new PR in whatever movement, by whatever you want that new PR to be, right? There needs to be a long-term goal, or there needs to be an end goal that we're really, really attached to. And that's going to create more motivation and allow you to really push through on the days you feel great, and really allow you to push through on the days you don't feel so great. Because let's face it, we don't always feel great when we're working out, and we don't always want to go. But if we really latch on to that end goal and that emotional connection we have to why we were there in the first place, and why we're doing it in the first place, and wanting to say that we accomplished those goals, it is going to massively, massively help you on achieving your health and fitness goals, and just moving you along on your health and fitness journey, and allowing you to set even more milestones once you hit those end goals. So again, those are just 3 things that I think, or that I believe in, that will allow anyone to be successful in their health and fitness journey. Again, it's not by rank or importance. It's just 3 simple things that I think if anyone latches onto, they'll be able to really transform and transcend their health and fitness journey. All right, that's a wrap on today. Knocked out our 2.5 mile run early, knocked out our chest and tricep workout at the gym. Now we've got some transparent labs. I heard a really, really good review on this the other day, and I gotta say, so far it's really, really good. There's almost 60 grams of protein in these 2 scoops. So we're gonna knock this back, kick our feet up, enjoy the rest of the day. If you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.